freaking first cut. Golly.
Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your round 3 recap for this week's Travelers Championship. Joining me to break it all down, Greg DuCharme is here. Hello, Greg.
What's going on, Rick? I know 4th of July is coming soon, but we saw some fireworks out there today. It was the scoring was unbelievable today.
First off, love it. Love the fireworks reference. Love a way to work it into the lead here. That's right. The golf course played more than 2 strokes under par. There were only 2 holes on the golf course that technically played over par. Number 5 played 0.01 over par, and 17 played 0.03 over par. So not much on that side of things, but we saw a 60, a 61, a 62, 3 63s, Greg. It was a day for birdies or better.
3 64s, 7 65s. I mean, it was just absolutely incredible. And we kind of thought at the beginning of the week that this day might be a washout. I mean, it was kind of looking like a Monday finish was heading our way for the Travelers Championship, but we didn't really get any of that today. And I'll tell you, I was up there earlier in the week. It's not far from where I live, about an hour and a half. And today, where I live, it was stifling hot, and there's no wind, and it wasn't rainy. And that's what they got there in Cromwell, too. So, I mean, ideal scoring conditions. When you have that much humidity, the greens are receptive, and they were receptive today. Very, very, very little wind out there. And the players were able to kind of throw darts, and they kind of did.
Well, there was one man who moved up 37 spots on the leaderboard. There was one man who had a chip for 59. It ended up being a bogey-free 60. He is in a tie for 4th and 6 shots off the lead. That man, Josh.
Rickie Fowler.
That's right. Rickie, again, 2 weeks in a row, putting himself in the mix, coming off of obviously a great finish at the U.S. Open where maybe Sunday didn't go his way. But, Greg, that is 30 on his first 9, which was the back 9, and a 30, including an eagle, on his second 9, the front 9 on the golf course. Rickie Fowler is feeling it.
He really is. I mean, you think about where he was heading into the U.S. Open, and he was in great form. But as I watched him play and analyze his scores and his rounds, the thing that seemed to be holding him back was he wasn't doing this, right? He didn't have, I'm not expecting 62s and 60s, right? But there weren't 64s. He wasn't shooting 65. He was shooting between 68 and 74, kind of every round. And now you're starting to see the confidence really come into play. You're starting to see him pile on birdies and play some really aggressive golf. But the coolest thing is Rickie's kind of got the putter rolling. I mean, you obviously are going to do everything well when you shoot 60, but it's those mid-range putts that he made at LACC that he made again today. It was just a number of great putts from that kind of 15 to 20 foot range that went in. I mean, of course, he stuffed a couple of wedges in there as well, like a 12, which really got him going for his round. After getting up and down at 10 and 11, he hit it in the fairway bunker at 12, stuffed it in there. Things kind of got rolling from there. So it's really fun to watch. It's really cool to see.
That putter, the actual specific putter, the Odyssey Versa Jailbird that Rickie and Wyndham Clark used last week. I'm seeing it all over the place this week. Odyssey could not have like better guerrilla marketing efforts right now than these guys just rolling the rocket with a putter that came out 8 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, it becomes a story when you have multiple players using the same one, right? And I mean, that was a really big story at the U.S. Open. And they just kind of, it's funny how they get to it, because Rickie uses his caddy's putter in an event, and he loves it. And so Rickie has them make the same putter his caddy uses. Wyndham tries Rickie's, makes everything, has him make the same one with the same specs as Rickie. So it's like the way that, you would expect an amateur to buy a putter. You go into a putter, or you go into a shop, you try a couple putt, you make a couple, you get it. And it's really funny the way that works.
Yeah.
But it's definitely working for Rickie right now.
And now Keegan using it as well, and he's up there near the top of the board. It's all it is the 7S with like one more bar on the back of it, which is that's the putter that I've used. So now I'm gonna have to go out and find a freaking 10-year-old Versa Jailbird.
A little longer, the counterbalance.
I gotta get like the 37. It's gonna be a whole ordeal. It's gonna cost me a lot of money. Anyway, a couple of big movers, though, they are probably too far back. You can kind of take your pick here. Justin Thomas coming off of what he described as the lowest week of his career, shoots a 62 on Saturday. He is 14 under. He is 7 shots off the pace. Or you could go towards Patrick Cantlay, who has dominated around TPC River Highlands, coming off a Saturday 61, 9 under. He's 5 back, Greg. Where do you want to go?
Well, I'll just say this. I'm going to hit both, but it's going to be quick. Okay. Patrick Cantlay, today's round was flawless. It was just perfect. It's the one word for it. There were no mistakes. He didn't leave anything out there that he, really should have made. Some of these other guys, they had a couple of putts that they missed, or from inside of that 6-foot range. Patrick Cantlay didn't have any of that. Made everything he should, hit it relatively close. It was just flawless. JT, on the other hand, was, you would expect this is a great golf course for him because he's such a great wedge player, or has been at least. Although he's struggling this year, you would think this is a perfect venue for him, because he's going to have so many of those short iron opportunities and he should be able to fill it up. But his game was in such disarray. These are big question marks. And he filled it up today. This looked like JT of old, the JT used to see. I mean, he's made 18 birdies in the last 2 rounds, 9 birdies in back-to-back rounds, shooting 64 and 62. It was just phenomenal stuff. I mean, the 16 greens that he hit, on one of them, he chipped in. The other one ended up on the fringe, 13 feet away from the hole. The one bogey that he made is a 3-putt. Yeah, but JT missed 5 putts inside of 10 feet. He missed 3 inside of 6 feet. So this was a phenomenal vintage Justin Thomas iron play day. He was just all over the flag.
All over the flag, indeed. As I mentioned, those guys probably a bit too far back. Same as Scottie Scheffler. He'll be kind of the last notable before we get to the top of the board here. So Scottie Scheffler goes 63 on Thursday, 70 on Friday, 63 on Saturday. He finished in a flurry. Eagle on 13, birdies on 14, 15, and 18 to complete his round. It will likely be another one of these top 12 finishes, a streak that extends back to last year. Greg, he's T7 going into the final round, but he is 7 off the pace. He could shoot a 59 tomorrow and probably still won't get it done.
He is the most recent 59 shooter on the PGA Tour as well. Not far from here. But this is just, I mean, you're kind of run out of things to say about Scottie Scheffler. To hammer the point home, I'm amazed. I mean, on Thursday's round, he only hits 4 fairways, but he hits 16 greens, which out here is really challenging. A lot of the guys near the top of the leaderboard are hitting a lot of fairways. Today, after yesterday's round, he struggles a little bit tee to green. Doesn't have his best day. Only hits 11 greens at regulation. Lost strokes approaching the green. And now you see him for the week. He's 4th in strokes gained approach the green. Here we go again with Scottie Scheffler. He's 3rd in strokes gained tee to green. Here we go again. And that's kind of what happened again today. After a little bit of a shaky start, he got it going, hit a couple really close, 3 putts, 11 from 20 feet. But this is just a continuation of this amazing Scottie Scheffler story.
It certainly is. I want to get to the 2 guys at the top of the leaderboard and one guy who almost shot a 59 this week. We're going to continue that conversation. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners.
It's Big Three Hoops on CBS, and the Trilogy Dynasty is back. Will anyone stop the champs this season? Big Three Hoops, Sunday on CBS.
And we're back. So Rickie Fowler has gone 70, 65, 60 this week. Denny McCarthy has gone 60, 65, 70. That is 195 for both of them, yet they feel entirely different, Greg. Denny McCarthy loses to the field with an even par round of 70 on Saturday. I think the problem is pretty clear. He lost a stroke with the putter. Now, when you're Denny McCarthy and you lose a stroke with the putter, you are paddling upstream pretty significantly. You're kind of already at, and even for how good he has been in other areas recently, to lose there makes it very difficult to have a good day.
Yes, for a variety of reasons. I mean, he's been hitting the ball pretty well this week, but not up to the standards of a Scottie Scheffler or Patrick Cantlay or a Justin Thomas. So he really leans on that. And in those opening rounds, he gained 3.3 on during his 60 with only 23 putts, gained 1.6 in Friday's round. And loses a shot today. It's just like nothing fell. And as I watched that round, I didn't really think he hit poor putts. He had a couple putts with a lot of break in them, but they didn't go in. Nothing went in, and he's not used to that. I mean, only 62 feet of putts made today, and that's very unlike Denny McCarthy. So a little bit, drives it into the rough a couple times. He got to hit a couple of shots to the left that put him in a little trouble. But all in all, it does come down to the putter with him.
Well, the two at the top of the board who have separated themselves are Chez, Reavie, and Keegan Bradley. So zoom out real quick here. We've got Keegan at 21 under, Chez, Reavie at 20, and then Patrick Cantlay at 16. That's the top three. A couple guys at 15 under par, like Rickie Fowler, Denny McCarthy, and Adam Scott. But it is very much of a separated leaderboard here. Let's start with Chez. Fires another 63, now 2 in a row. The only blemish on that card, Greg, was 16, where he makes a bogey. That's the par 3, but he gets it back at 18. This is obviously a very good course for Chez. He won this event a couple of years ago, and when you get him at a place where he is not getting lapped by the field off the tee and he can contend, fire away, because he's been playing great golf as well.
Yes. Leading in, before I get to that, when he won this event, do you know who was in the final pair with him?
Oh, God. Was it Keegan?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Keegan in 2019. So Keegan came and tied second. Chez went in with a 6-shot lead, but Keegan was in the final pair. So we're going to get a repeat of that, which is kind of fun. But you look at what Chez did today, and it's Chez golf. It's very steady, hitting fairways, hitting greens. But what leads to that 63 is he made some great putts. I mean, it made a 24-footer at number 1, a 22-footer at number 8, and then a couple of nice kind of mid-range putts as well. 15, 16, and 17 kind of was a little bit of a tough stretch for him, where it looked like Keegan was going to really separate himself. He 3-putts. He drove it on the green at 15. One of only 4 players to do that today, and then 3-putted. And that was not an easy 2-putt, so I don't really discredit him on that one. But he'd like to make a birdie there. And then at 16, hits it over the green and was just dead. He was in the rough back there with such a severe downslope and obviously water on the other side. He didn't really have much. And then hit it left again at 17 too. So which it was long left at 16, and then he hits his tee shot left at 17 and kind of gets a nice break and is able to make par. But Chez looks really strong, especially with the putter. We'll get to Keegan, I know, but Chez is doing a lot of his work on the greens right now. He's gained over 9 shots so far this week, just on the greens. And I wonder if that's a hard thing to, continue.
Not only is he first in the field in putting, but he's first by 2 full strokes. putting to Minwoo and Keegan. So it's a lot, and he's a very good putter. He's gained strokes putting and multiple strokes putting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of his last 8. So, I mean, he's a very good putter, but that's a lot. It's a lot to continue to roll in. Keegan Bradley is our leader. Keegan Bradley fired a 6 under 64. So he's gone 62, 63, 64, 65 probably gets it done. Bogey free around TPC River Highlands on Saturday. And this is just the full on engaged Keegan like we always get. But, oh, by the way, let me putt my brains out.
Yeah. And he is putting really well. I mean, he had even some more opportunities in the 64. I mean, he missed like 3 putts in that 12-foot range.
The late one, 17 or 18.
Yeah, on 17. That one was from 7 feet.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not. So I'm not expecting you to make all 3 of those 12-footers, but by any stretch. But they're opportunities, and you don't get any of them there. So the point is, it could have been a lot lower, and I think that highlights how well he hit the ball today. I mean, he stuffed it at 2 and 4 and 16 and 17. It was a really, really nice round of golf for Keegan Bradley today. And you're right, Rick, he is fully in the zone. Mm-hmm. And the other cool thing about his putting, even though he's 3rd for the week, he's also 2nd tee to green, which is a great combo. And on the greens this year, this is his best putting season since the anchor ban. Yeah. So it seems like he's really figured something out in that department, and it's working right now. And I feel like there's a lot of staying power the way that he's playing right now. I mean, he's also leading the field in strokes gained approach for the week. It's really good stuff all the way around for Keegan.
Yeah, I think he probably gets it done. I mean, it's likely that it's either him or Chez, barring something going completely awry, or Patrick Cantlay shooting a 60 or something like that. But I think the Keegan winning resume is not celebrated enough. I mean, there's not a lot of guys in general who have 5 PGA Tour wins. There's not. There's also not a lot of guys that of those 5 wins, one of them is a major, one is a WGC, one is a playoff event, and one is the Zozo Championship, which is like a de facto WGC, right? 78 players, stacked field. Like, those are 4 very, very good wins. And I feel like that does not get the credit it deserves, because Keegan's kind of a weird guy and he's on Team No Putt and yada, yada, yada. Well,
it's also happened over a long period of time.
True.
You know, and I think that that definitely plays a role, because it's like you kind of disappear for a little bit, and you disappear at a time when you have 3 wins, and you know, your first ever major is a win. He was 1-0 in majors. That's crazy. Sick. Right. And then, you know, is it validated? And I think in Keegan's career, it definitely has been validated, but it loses its luster over time when there's some years of struggle. And I really feel for him too, because that struggle is so plainly pointed at a rule change, which is, I don't know if anybody was hurt more than Keegan Bradley.
Because like, if that rule change happens like 10 years later, who knows what he's done.
Right. Right. I mean, if it happens 10 years earlier, he probably figures out a way.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, doesn't even play the PGA Tour. I don't know.
He never makes it, right?
Yeah. He's probably good enough to make it. But you never know how that affects things. Yeah. So it's really challenging. And I do think that it's a little unfair. But now that he's figured out this putting, he's a gamer. And I know he takes some heat for the, jittery start, but I think it's so intense. I love the intensity.
I love it too. I mean, it's definitely different, but I love it. And,
yes.
And he flips the club around and he steps in, he steps out, he steps in, he steps out.
It makes it feels big to me when I watch him.
Every shot Thursday morning for 10th tee at 6:45 a.m. Keegan is playing a major championship.
Yeah. And when he's in contention and that's what you're watching, makes it feel really, really important. And it doesn't feel long to me. Like Patrick Cantlay gets roasted for his pace of play. Yeah. And when you watch him, it looks like it's taking a long time. It doesn't look intense. And when there's that intensity, it adds drama for me. So I'm a fan. Always have been, and I think he's ready to hold the trophy in New England.
Well, of his 5 wins, and it'll be a very pro Keegan crowd on Sunday. Of his 5 wins, 3 have come in a playoff. The other 2 are by a single shot. So he's used to the tight-knit aspect of the leaderboard on a Sunday. Do we have the odds, Josh? I'm sure we do. Thank you kindly. Keegan against the field, -120 for Keegan Bradley. Chez, Reavie, +250. Patrick Cantlay at 8.5 to 1. And nobody else shorter than 28 to 1. Scottie Scheffler there. Rickie's at 30. Minwoo Lee at 90. If you want to get your touchies in on Minwoo there. But boy, it is, dare I say, a 2-horse race.
It really seems that way. Tomorrow it can flip quickly. It really can. But you just start to think about scores. Okay, so if Keegan shoots 70 tomorrow and he sits, which I think would be a pretty disappointing round, you're talking about a 65 out of Cantlay to tie him, 64s out of Fowler, Scott, or Denny just to tie. And you think about if he shoots 2 or 3 under, he gets to 24 or 25, that eliminates a lot of guys.
Yes. If either Chez or Keegan shoot 3 under, they've boxed out a lot of guys.
Yes, because I mean, take 60 for example. Well, Fowler, I mean, if Scottie Scheffler shoots 60 tomorrow, he's at 24 under. And I think it's very possible that one of these guys in the last group extends past that. I mean, we've had scoring records all over the place, right? I mean, Keegan's 54-hole lead is a scoring record here by 3.
Yes.
So it just feels like birdies are out there. And with Chez being close to Keegan, that last group, I think, will push each other instead of, wilting away. When one guy has a 6-shot lead, it's very easy for them to get defensive. Mm-hmm. But because Chez can make a birdie on the first hole and it's a tie ball game if Keegan makes par. And now all of a sudden you have this competitive edge. Even Cantlay coming off a 61. I mean,
what's he gonna do? Shoot another 61? He's gonna have to.
Yeah, he shoots 9 under again. That puts him at 25. See, I mean, even then, that could be beat. But that would be, yeah, he needs another 61. That's never happened. 61 to win? No way.
I would say no.
I know Smiley Kaufman shot 61 in the final round to win. But I don't think he did it on Saturday. He didn't do it on Saturday. I'll tell you that much.
Here's a fun little nugget in terms of strokes gained. So while Rickie Fowler's 60 was his lowest round, Greg, in his PGA Tour career, wasn't even his best in the last week, right? Because he gained that 62 on Thursday at LACC. He gained like 9.5 strokes to the field. This was like 7.8 because the scoring were so low.
They just torched it. Everybody did.
Yeah, they torched it.
So I don't know. I mean, could they come out defensive? Or are these guys going to linger around par? They're playing so well.
I think these guys. I just think the course is just ready to be shredded. I just think that even a little defensive, you go out there, you roll a couple putts. I think it'll be fine. I think one of those two will win. I think Keegan will win.
I think Keegan will win too. I'm excited to see it though. Chez can hang.
I think he's cool, and this is like the best spot for him, and he knows. Yeah, no, it'll be cool. I'm excited for it. The quote of the day was Minwoo saying when he was doing the walk and talk, he said, "Yeah, I've been lifting, which is cool," or something.
yes,
which is nice. And I was like, "I love you. You're just the man."
He is cool.
I've been lifting, which is nice.
They're all lifting up. They're all lifting.
Yeah, they better be.
You should have seen, like I said, I was out there Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, they got not one, but 2 fitness trailers. And there's a constant flow of people. It was right by the media center. And it's a constant flow of guys going in. They're all going in there.
They're athletes. All of a sudden, they're athletes. Who would have thunk it? All right, we'll be back Sunday night after the final putt drops, hopefully in regulation of the Travelers Championship, and we will discuss everything that has happened. For now, big thanks to producer Josh does all the hard work behind the scenes. Greg DuCharme, available on Twitter at TheRealGFD. You can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.